Welcome back to Retirement Unplugged. Well, today I've got Heath Legg with me today, and he is the owner of a lawn care business here in the big city of Hartselle, Superior Lawn Care. You know, and I say lawn care, and I say that it's big, right? You know, a lot of lawn care businesses get started, and some grow, some don't, some just kind of stay where they're at. But dude, you've been doing this a long time, right?
Yeah, a little over 30 years.
Oh my God. Hey dude, that kind of shows our age.
It does.
Right?
I feel it too.
Oh, I bet. So 30 years, I guess you started high school, after high school, what?
Yeah. So, basically, when I've cut grass since elementary school, honestly,
Your dad's probably like mine. So get out there and cut that grass.
well, I mean, excuse me for saying it like this, but you know, he kept his foot up my ass my whole life, basically, and I'm sure yours did too.
Oh,
so
my
it was
gosh.
Summers. We were going to work. There was no sitting at home and having things handed to you. And I grew up. My dad was a pastor, and so we didn't have a whole lot. So if there were things I wanted, I had to work for them.
Wow.
And so just starting out we lived in Hartselle till I was in about the 6th grade. And we lived in a subdivision. Matter of fact, it was the Indian subdivision where your wife lived there for a while.
That's right. The reservation.
That's right. And so I would push a little push mower around in the 5th and 6th grade, knock on the door. I'll cut your grass for $5. And as a matter of fact, my mom, before she passed away, she had found a little log book somewhere that she had kept.
Yeah.
And it was me at that age writing, it actually said log book at the top of it. And I had my customers' names, and, I'd charge these $3, and then the ones I weed eated for, charged them $5. And it just had a whole recording of it. So, it's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah. But what's cool is, hey, at that young age, you got some work ethic and making some money, right?
Right. That's right. And so, again, back to the having to work for things that we wanted. And at that age, it was candy. We just wanted to go up to the little handy pack and and buy candy. But anyway, we moved around some, and so when Dad took a church in South Alabama, and he actually went to theology school. Got a degree in theology at the Graceville Baptist Bible Institute, and so we lived in South Alabama while he did that, and he took a little country church down there. So in the summers there, in those small country churches, of course, it was farmers.
Sure.
And so I've worked in tomato fields and watermelon fields, loading hay. And so through those younger years when he was preaching at those places, that was the kind of summer work that I did.
Oh, wow.
And again, that was expected. There was
that's tough work.
It was.
Hot, tough as a kid.
That's right. That's right. So did that, and then when I was in high school in the 10th grade, we moved back up here to Scottsboro. Worked for an electrician that summer, which was a great experience. I learned a lot there.
Oh yeah.
And then we moved back to Hartselle my senior year. So went to 4 different high schools, and so met a lot of people. But coming back to Hartselle wasn't like going to a new place because I knew everybody already from when I'd left. So. Kind of started cutting some grass here, and what I wanted to do when I got out of school was be a veterinarian. Until I went to work for Steve Pearson.
Yeah,
and that changed my mind. It wasn't him. I loved working for him.
It was animals, wasn't it?
Yes, it was just the whole process of it, being in there and seeing and doing things. I'm an outside guy, and I just wasn't happy being inside.
I bet. So. I mean, I bet you. It seems like being a vet. From the outside looking in, you would relate that to, that can be kind of some outside work, inside work, where maybe you go and I assume, and I don't know if he does it, but like go to some farms and take care of things.
Well, yeah, some of them do.
So, you kind of, from the outside looking in, at first you think that's both, it's inside and outside work, but I bet it's way more inside.
Oh, it is a lot, but there's just a lot of just dealing with it. It just wasn't my thing. I learned real quick it wasn't going to be my thing. So I went to school. Now, again, I was cutting grass during this time, too, just a little bit on the side here and there. But went to college for a semester and just decided I didn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
And so I quit, and my mother, I think, about cried her eyes out for that. But
where'd you go to?
I went to Athens.
Okay.
Well, that would have been Calhoun that first semester that I went and stopped. And so I went to work at a plant. At the time, it was Young Door in Hartselle. I don't know if you remember them.
No, I don't.
It's back behind Cyril Wire.
Oh, yeah.
They're still open. It's just owned by somebody else now.
Sunoco back there?
Sunoco's back there too.
Yeah, okay.
So went to work there, worked night shift for a couple of years, and realized I needed to go back to school.
Yeah.
And so
that'll make you rethink it, won't it?
It sure did.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I did. I went back to school, finished at Athens, and I still kind of kept cutting grass the whole time, and I had to pay my own way through school, and that's how I did that. It was a very flexible schedule and worked out. But started with a push mower and a broom.
Wow.
That's what I started cutting grass with. But I finished at Athens, and by the time I had kind of gone through school, I had, I guess, got some additional equipment. I had a ride mower at that time and some other things like that. And I was making a pretty good go at it.
Probably just the old regular lawn tractor.
It was.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, it was a Scott's. They were orange, and Home Depot sold them.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had bought one of those, but I would pull my stuff to school, and then when I'd get out of school, I would change and then go straight to work. And so, but anyway, I did that, and I was making probably $40,000 a year at the time, which back in the late 90s, that was pretty good money.
Yeah. Were those jobs, and I'm only asking this because I got a buddy that used to do it while we were in college. Were those jobs you bid on?
Most of it was residential stuff at that point.
That seems like a lot of residential.
It was. The commercial jobs I had were like Dr. Pearson's office, for example. He let me work. So no, I didn't have to bid on that. So I didn't have all the certifications and all that stuff. I was really just paying my way through college. And so when I got out making that amount of money, I thought, well, this is pretty good. I was off in the wintertime, could hunt, when I wanted to. And I liked that, of course.
Yeah.
But I was getting job offers from like banks. That's what I was trying to go into, was like being a branch manager of a bank or commercial loan officers, really interested in finance. But the job offers I was getting were like $20,000 a year, 22 grand a year. And I was working all year long versus making 40 and working 6 months out of the year.
I was punching that old clock.
Man, I didn't want any part of it. And so at that point in time, I decided, well, I'm just going to jump in and try to make a go with this lawn business. Well, about the time I decided to do it, my mother worked at Sunoco, which you mentioned a while ago. And she said, I've got you an interview lined up. She worked for Charles Reed, which was the main guy at Sunoco. He was the president of these divisions here in Hartselle. And she pulled a couple of strings and got me an interview, and interviewed. And I didn't hear anything from them for 2 or 3 months probably. And I'm thinking, I don't care anything about a wood reel. And so, but anyway, they called me a couple of months later. Bill Waller was the guy, and he called and he said, hey man, we've decided to extend you an offer if you're still interested and you're still looking. And I said, well, I'm still doing my thing with my own business, and but I'd be interested in talking with you. So they called me back in, and they offered me a salary that I just at the time couldn't refuse. I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane money, And, and so I went to work for them, and I worked there for about 11 years, and started out in procurement at the plant, buying lumber for plants all over the United States that they had. And then I ended up being promoted into recycling, which was at the division office. That's that Chinese-looking building on the corner of Thompson Road. There, you see.
So did you still have your mowing business on the side?
I did. I kept it going, but I wasn't trying to make a living at it. It was a sideline hustle, And the problem was, once I moved into recycling, I had to start traveling. And so about that time, my dad had moved back up here from Florida. And he was helping me a little bit with it. And it's kind of a funny story. He called and he said, hey, you think you might have something that I could do? He said, your mama's thinking she might want to move back up there around the grandkids. And I said, we'll find you something to do. I said, why you say you going to retire? He said, yeah. I said, well, what kind of time frame we looking at? He said, tomorrow.
Even better.
I said, okay. So he came back up, and he kind of ran it while I was at Sunoco. And so anyway.
Well, if you don't mind, how old was your dad at that point?
He would have been, when he came back, probably about 60, maybe 65, early 60s, yeah. And so, and he's a hard worker, and his dad was too. That's where my work ethic comes from.
Dude, that's that time frame, man.
That's right. And so Anyway, Dad did that. I did start doing some traveling and but that got very excessive, and the business started growing.
Yeah.
So I was still working on the weekends, and if I was at home in the evenings or whatever, I would work too. But it started growing, and got to a point where I had to make a decision. I've either got to sell the business, and my dad was getting older, you know.
Yeah.
I've got to either sell the business or quit Sunoco and go with the business. And so I thought about it and really struggled with it, did a lot of praying, and finally decided to just take the plunge. If I had stayed there, I would have had to end up relocating to Texas or somewhere, and I wasn't interested in that.
Yeah.
And so once it became my livelihood, that's when things started happening. Mm-hmm. And so I started marketing, and you've seen my stuff around. You know, that's a big part of our. It's a big part of our business.
How did you name it Superior from the beginning?
From the very beginning, I started calling it that. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
And so about that time was when I guess it would have been a little earlier than that, but it was when Delphi shut down.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I was only doing grass cutting really at that time. A lot of those guys went and bought lawnmowers and started cutting grass. And I saw real quick, hey, if this is what I'm going to do for a living, we're going to have to do something to separate ourselves from the competition.
Get a little niche.
We got to do something more than just grass cutting. So I started getting into landscaping. And then that turned into weed control and fertilization. And weed control and fertilization turned into irrigation. And then just, you know, we had multiple divisions at that time started, and it just exploded. I mean, just all at once. And so I put the pedal to the floor on the marketing and design, and we started doing the billboards and the trucks and all of that. And so it just kind of dominoed from there and turned into a full-blown 12-month business, which that hindered my hunting a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, but there's where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. And so, and you know, and too, the funny thing is everybody thinks, oh, this guy owns his business and man, it must be nice. But they don't see the 80-hour weeks you're working, trying to do all that, you know.
Yeah, they don't remember going through the hard times of getting something started up by yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that, now, of course, we do pest and termite, and I did go through a time where we offered franchises, and that exploded. That was right before COVID. We had 22 franchises in 11 states.
I had no idea.
We did, yep. Even had one in Idaho. That was the furthest one we had.
Really? That's interesting.
Yep. And it was full steam ahead, and my intent was to sell Superior when I retired. Sell Superior and keep the franchise part going, and that was going to be my retirement. But COVID was like a brick wall for it, man. It didn't completely kill it, but a lot of those newer franchises went out of business. They just couldn't sustain during that time. People canceling and whatnot. But anyway, the expenses to keep that going with the franchise we had left, it just wasn't enough income coming in. So we ended up doing away with that. But now we have location in Madison, and then of course our location here in Decatur. But when it really started growing was when I realized we've got to get across the river. We got to get into this growth in Madison and Huntsville.
Boy, I tell you, that growth has not stopped.
It's insane.
Even with it, to me, it's like even though the economy may take a hit here and there, it's like they don't stop over there.
That's right.
And I'm assuming it's because of all of the what do you call it over there? The space stuff and all the arsenal and the FBI coming over there, and I guess it's because of all that. You have people coming from all over the country. I guess.
Well, you've got
Toyota, Mazda.
Yeah, you got Remington, Toyota, Mazda. You got the Amazon facility, the Target distribution.
Oh, what's that Buffalo Rocks or what's that?
The drink stuff. I can't
that's a brand new huge building. Buffalo Rock, I think.
That. And then Space Force coming too. So
Trump's talking about that.
That's a big. Which a lot of those jobs I think will be filled by people that live here, but there's still going to be a tremendous amount of people coming in. I had heard 9 people a day are moving into Huntsville right now.
Holy smokes! It looks like it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because for myself, I don't even like to drive across the bridge. I know business is good over there, but I don't even like to. Personally, I don't like to drive over there.
Oh man, and that's why we opened that location in Madison. Because of the guys were getting really frustrated, especially trying to get back in the afternoons. If you're after 3:30, it's a nightmare.
Man, I see your trucks everywhere. And for those of you out there, his trucks stand out. I think you have every truck you own wrapped.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it's a really cool looking logo, and they stand out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when they drive by, you know it's a Superior truck. So
Right.
it's, I think you did well on that portion of the advertisement. It looks really cool.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of hard work, but it paid off for sure.
What'd you tell me one time? You started out with like the back window decals or whatever,
Yep.
and now
Yeah.
you're fully wrapped everywhere.
Yeah, my original logo was a tree. It was just a little tree that when I went and got a business card made, I was flipping through all the logos they had
Yeah.
in there. I thought, well, that tree looks pretty good. Let's just put that on a business card. And that was what I went with my logo to start with.
Yeah.
But then I thought my thinking is always from a marketing standpoint, we use IHateMosquitoes.com, IHateWeeds.com,
Yeah.
IHateBugs.com. I try to think of things that people remember. And so that Superman S kind of when we had, let me say this so it's clear. There had to be so many differences in RS and the Superman S, so we weren't infringing
Yeah.
on a trademark.
I got you.
So anyway, the Superman S, I thought, well, people will remember that. So switched from the tree to that, and then that turned into the wrap trucks and the bright colors and all that stuff. And it just anything that's attention getting, I kind of try to think we're a marketing company that just happens to sell the services we do.
Now, did you come up with all that on your own?
I did. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I did.
Because it takes a lot. I mean, you think about what is it you can do to get people engaged in what they see, or whoa, I see that. What is that? And then it forces them to look or go look it up or whatever. It takes some. I don't know. I'm not going to say skill, but it takes some thought process to go, all right, I think this will engage people. The bright colors.
Yeah.
Do I stand out versus somebody else? The S, because everybody recognizes the Superman logo, but this is similar. I mean, a lot of that stuff is, you got to put some thought into it.
Well, and you'll notice too, like if we run a billboard, it might just say IHateMosquitoes.com. It may not even have anything Superior on it.
Right.
Because people will remember that. Well, I'll go check that out.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, that's where all that comes
Well,
from.
let me ask you this. You started out with X amount of employees. How many?
Me.
You by yourself.
Yeah.
And then how many employees you got today?
We probably have around 30 today.
30 today. Is that both locations or just Hartselle?
That's both locations, yeah. We'll run anywhere between 30 and 40 in the summer months.
Yeah. How many trucks you got on the road?
Probably 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See you guys everywhere, man. I mean, it's been a great business, and like you said a while ago, there's a lot of people that's tried to get into the lawn care business. And I would say, they probably, it may pay their bills, but I don't know that it goes as above and beyond as what you've done.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
I've been blessed, man. Being from Hartselle and being a local person, I think that really helped me get started.
Oh, sure.
A lot of customers have been very loyal to me. But it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. But what I was saying, I've been blessed. And in the beginning, you're thinking, I want to do this and be successful and make money and all this stuff. But the older I get, I realize that's not necessarily what it's all about.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me not long ago, said, what have you enjoyed most about your career in this business? And I really had to think about that for a minute. And the answer to that is the people. I have enjoyed everybody that I've met, the employees, the customers, and I just really enjoy meeting and networking with people. And, I go back to the being blessed part again. I think also it's been a platform that God has provided for me to be able to not only offer people jobs, but somewhat of a platform to witness as well, which I've done a poor job of that. I should have done a better job of that, but I'm doing better at it now that I'm older.
Why is it it's the older we get before some of those things that you're talking about we realize? Because if you would realize those things at a younger age, maybe you wouldn't be so stressed or uptight about what's going on, because looking back now, every situation you've probably ever been in, it worked itself out.
It did, yeah.
But at that time, you can't see it. That's the way I was. I couldn't see it. But then now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I wish I'd done things a little differently. Now that I see what I see, blah, blah, blah. Probably everybody falls under that.
Well, and if you're like me, I don't want to be remembered as this is the guy that ran this business and made money. I don't want to be remembered as that guy. I want to be, that was a great guy to work for. He was a good dude, and I really enjoyed working for him.
Yeah. Not that guy that's like, man, all he cared about was $1. And he chewed me out over $1.
Don't want to, now, I may get on them a little bit every now and then, but the ones that I feel like have the ability to be successful, I'm going to push them harder than any of the other, anybody else. And so I hope they have, as they move on in life, I hope they have appreciated that.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about the people side of things. I realized I was a supervisor. I became a supervisor at Nucor back in 2006, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And I left in 25. So I'd been a supervisor for a long time. And that's the one thing that I miss the most is people.
Yeah.
The interactions with people. And it's funny. Or for me, I went through stages in life where I was very outgoing in high school and college, all that good stuff. And then you move into a stage where you're married and you have children and they're your only circle and you're kind of not with people. Mm-hmm. And you lose, you kind of lose that people person attitude type thing. And then all of a sudden, as I got older, it kind of came full circle. I really enjoyed working with those guys out there, not really just being part of what they were doing, knowing all their family background, and just seeing them every day.
Right.
Well, and that's what I miss the most.
I mean, you work with them, but they kind of become your work family, your friends
extended
as well.
Family, man, extended family.
Of course, now I guess that's going to be people at the gym or whoever that you see every day.
I see you every day at the gym.
You can't tell by looking, but
well, that's all of us.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, now that I'm retired, and you're going to see that probably soon, your circle draws close again, mm-hmm. And you don't venture out as much, and then you don't hang out with as many people. So right now I still try to stay in touch with some of the guys that I worked with just because, you know what I mean? Just for some camaraderie and just to see how they're doing, see how their families are doing, things like that. But yeah, your circle draws closer again.
It I hope the same happens with me. I mean, when I left Sunoco, a lot of the people I did business with, some of them mentors, I haven't even mentioned real estate stuff and, but met mentors and then met a lot of people that were friends and you thought would be lifelong friends, but that kind of fizzles out after you're gone, That's another thing. Lifelong friends. I've got a buddy of mine that I went to college with. He's from up around St. Louis, and we met in like 1989, and we've been friends ever since. Okay.
I mean, and he lives up St. Louis.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
And we still talk. They come here sometimes. We go there sometimes. We used to meet in Memphis every year till Memphis got wild. Just things like that. And it's funny that we met that long ago, and I'm still that close with him and his family and his wife. Pretty cool. Yeah. And that's the kind of relationships you hope to find, but you don't. I mean, you think you're gonna, mm-hmm. but not all of them are like that. Yeah, okay, they're touch and go here and there, of course, but and you do with the people you grow up with.
You do, and I'm a firm believer too that everybody comes across that you meet in your life is for a reason.
Yeah, you're right.
And even with the Sunoco thing, I met some folks there, learned a lot about business there, and again met those mentors, and that's what got me into the real estate stuff.
Yeah.
And had I not gone to work there, I might not have ever done any real estate.
Yeah, and I'm not really talking about like the guys you grow up with, because those guys, I don't know, I still feel like they're best friends. Mm-hmm. I still talk to them. Some of them I talk to once a week, if not 3 times a week.
Okay.
And I'm talking about guys you meet later in life where like you're talking about at Sunoco, where you think, man, I'll be friends with these guys for a long time. But, they're just somebody you met later in life, and that kind of fizzles out.
Yeah.
But anyways, I kind of forgot about your, being in the housing stuff or rental business and all that.
Yeah, that was a big part of my career too. And I've sold most of that stuff now. But most of the people I was in my 20s at Sunoco, right?
Yeah.
And most of the people I were working with were much older than me. Mm-hmm. A lot of upper level managers and things that I had the pleasure of meeting and getting to know. But one thing that they all had in common was real estate. Yeah. Every single one of them was in real estate, and they would all tell you, if I can give you any advice, it would be buy real estate. And so back then, you could get the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac stuff. You could get like 10 places financed. I think now it may be 4. I may be off on that, but I think it's 4 now on investment properties. But back then you could do 10 and they would finance 100% of them.
Wow, 10 at a time?
No, 10 total. You could have 10 total financed.
Okay, I got you.
And so I went ahead and maxed that out, and I would, I had rentals going, and then I was doing flips too, and I would keep 3 flips going all the time. As soon as I sold one, I'd buy another one. But I was going to these guys for advice and kind of learning how to do this stuff, and then I learned a lot on my own as well. But fortunately, that all worked out very well. I don't think I ever lost money on a real estate deal.
Yeah.
Might not have made very much, but most of the time I made money on the real estate deals, and don't have much left at all. I've got a few residential homes here in Hartselle left. That's about it.
Think you'll get into any more of that?
Maybe commercial real estate. I've invested in some farmland, and that has almost already doubled since I bought it. So that's going to, end up being a really good investment, and I'm able to enjoy that while I own it as well.
Now, is that Kentucky or Illinois? Because you hunt both.
That's Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I got out of Kentucky. This is my first year to not hunt it in about 12 years.
Oh, I'll be dang.
Yeah,
Wow.
it just I just wanted to focus more on Illinois. I enjoy being up there. The farm that I bought, there was a house on it that was built in 1850, and my wife and I completely gutted it and redid it, and it's just turned out phenomenal, and we both love it up there. So we'll spend quite a bit of time up there, and after I retire, hopefully a lot of time up there.
Yeah. So you dove off in that. My son's trying to get into that a little bit. He bought his first one in Athens, and it was a foreclosure. And he's 25. So, he's thinking about that stuff all the time. He had that concrete pumping business, and I think that was a little more work than he anticipated. But more than I anticipated. I went with him once, and heck, I had to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm retired. I'm supposed to be standing in the shade pointing.
That's right. I'm just here to watch.
Exactly. But so he's wanting to dive off in that a little bit, and it's interesting because, and you know more about it than I ever would, but it seems like today, with the cost of homes and stuff at this moment, it would be hard to get into right now.
It is.
You can't really find a good deal.
Yeah, well, there's so many people doing it now. When I started doing it, there were people doing it, but it's just like the lawn care. When you went up and down the road, you might see, one of the local guys, Larry Hanna, was in business.
Oh, man, he's big.
And there was 2 or 3 like that, but that was it.
Yeah.
Now you go down the road, and you can count 50 between here and Decatur.
Yeah, everybody's towing lawnmowers.
But the same thing with housing. So when I started doing that, back then it was really easy to find good deals, and I did a lot of HUD stuff. They would be foreclosures and things like that. But now, man, they get gobbled up quick. It's unless you've got kind of an inside connection, it's really hard to get them now. So we don't do as many. My wife is an absolute phenomenal designer, so I don't have to fool with any of that part of it anymore.
Right. Wow, that's awesome.
I'll try to find the deals, and once we get in one, I say, hey, have at it, and she designs it.
You find the deals, and she does the frills.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly, man. That's good. Well, hey, that's that's help as far as it's not all on your shoulders, right? Because the design part of it's huge, just going in and trying to figure out what people want.
And I don't enjoy that part of it.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
I wouldn't either.
But she does, and but like I was saying, the farmhouse, she did a wonderful job with that one, and it's a place now I can go do what my passion is, which is deer hunting, and she can enjoy being there. So
yeah. So let's talk just for a brief moment about the business side of. So what do you think are your plans on retirement? And you don't have to go deep in it by no means.
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much there, but there's something in the works now.
Yeah.
And I'll be staying on with the company, but if all of that goes through, hopefully sometime next year, I can really start looking at doing some things more towards retirement.
Yeah, good.
Not having to work, not having to be there at 6 o'clock every morning and things like that. But,
yeah, that's good. Yeah, I didn't want you to tell the full story, but it's a good feeling though, right?
It is. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, which I still love what I do. And as I mentioned, I love the people, and I still like getting up and going to work every day. It's not that I'm tired of working, but
tired of that phone.
I'm tired of the phone. I think I think the day I finally walk out of the office, I'll drop it on the sidewalk and stomp it out. I think it'll be.
For all y'all out there, I can tell you, I'm a witness to it. He pulls in the gym every morning and the truck stays parked for 30, 40, 45, an hour before he ever gets out.
Yeah, and I don't work out for 2 hours. I'm in there and the phone is going the whole time I'm trying to work out.
Sitting in the parking lot on the phone, trying to deal with things, and walk in and I'm talking to him, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
That's just part of it,
it's part of owning a business.
It is part of owning a business. And without it, where would you be?
That's right. So I have that going on all during the day. And then when I was, going hot and heavy in rentals, that was all night. So it might be 2 o'clock in the morning and somebody's calling with, hey, my hot water heater just blew up. But
yeah,
man, I've had all kind of calls. I had a murder or a shooting in one of the houses, and somebody got killed. We've had an underground casino in one, and I could sit here for a lot longer than we have time for and tell you rental house stories.
I'm sure people are crazy.
It's again, I love them, but it's just something you have to deal with in the rental business.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll move on to a little bit of hunting.
Now, I can talk about this all day.
Yeah, I know you're a big hunter. You've killed some great deer too, man. Jeez. I know some good deers come out of Kentucky, come out of Illinois.
Right.
But you said you gave up. That was a lease in Kentucky, right?
It was. I was in with a group of guys. We hunted around the Clarksville, Hopkinsville area.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to break the 200-inch mark in Kentucky.
What was it?
239.
239. That's something else.
230 was a non-typical, and I was actually, not to bore you with this, but I was actually very familiar with the deer from the year before. He put on 100 inches in a year.
Yeah.
I don't really know what caused it, if it was an injury or what, but it shouldn't have happened. It was kind of a fluke.
Yeah.
But
tell just so people understand, you knew about that deer, right?
Yep.
How many cameras were you running, watching him?
I don't know exactly how many, but I had every camera I own on this farm, and I had them on fields and thick, clear cut stuff you couldn't even walk through. Probably more than 50 cameras were running on that deer, and I started getting pictures of him before season, and once I knew it was going to be something, because he started out with just like a bunch of knots or something. It was really weird looking, and as he developed, I thought, oh man, I've really got something special. Hunted him for 45 days straight. And
that's not even coming home. You were gone 45.
I was gone 45 days, and well, I have to tell this one because my wife would probably get me if I didn't. But I came home. He had not daylighted, and so what I had done is I had a piece of poster board, and I had every camera marked, and every picture I got pictures every day of him. I would mark where it was, what time, what the date was, what the wind was doing, what the moon phase was, and there was no pattern. This was over a couple of months. There was no pattern whatsoever, and it was all nighttime pictures. And I'm like, I got to catch this dude in the daylight before everybody gets up here and starts gun hunting.
Yeah.
And so I moved in on him and had hunted. I hunted 45 days to answer your question, but my wife's birthday is October the 10th, and so I had to come home for that. So I came home, and we had gone out to eat with some friends that afternoon. And while we're sitting,
oh my gosh,
while we're sitting at her dinner that evening, I got a daylight picture of him, and I just like, you got to be kidding me. And I turned the phone around, and everybody's like, you got to get back up there. You got to get back up there. And so I did. I headed back the next morning, and she had told me, she said, you're going to have to change that deer's name from Medusa to Divorce, because if you don't kill him, that's what's going to happen. And so but anyway, and the crazy thing was, I got back on him, and I had the first encounter I had with him, he was coming in to this area before daylight. But the problem was, I don't hunt over corn feeders. I don't believe in that. I'll put them on a farm, in which that's not legal in Illinois. You can't. I wish you could, but you can't. But in Kentucky, you can. But I would put a feeder on each farm to try to get pictures to see what we have.
Yeah.
And then I would put cameras in different places of the farm. But I like to catch them on trails and stuff in the woods. So anyway, he was going in there in that area. There was a lot of does in there before daylight, and I had gotten where I was having to go get in that stand at 3 o'clock in the morning, because if I tried to go in at daylight, I blew everything out. So one morning I was in there at 3 o'clock, and I mean, I'd take a nap, whatever, till daylight. But I start looking at my pictures on camera. Well, he's in there. He's in there, not 20 yards from me, but I can't see him because it's pitch black dark. So that was the only experience I had with him other than when I killed him. But the day I ended up killing him, and I won't tell that whole story, it's too long, but my wife had came up there and stayed with me. She had got there the night before. It had been pouring down rain. And, man, I just got to tell it. Have we got time?
Oh, you got plenty of time.
So it had rained the entire night and the entire morning. And he had started putting out scrapes, right?
Yeah.
And so.
And what was this date?
This would have been not quite Halloween, right at the end of October. I don't remember the exact date. But it had rained, and I mean heavy rain, heavy. And he had started putting out scrapes. And I thought, after this rain, he's going to start cleaning out them scrapes. I know he is. And I had a scrape line. I'd been getting pretty regular pictures of him in a bottom. And so I took about an hour or more, and boy, I mean, I creeped down in there, which it was still kind of raining, but you could see on the radar the front was coming through. And I got to the base of the tree, and I put my stand on it, and those scrapes had not been cleaned out. And it was a climber. I put the climber on, got ready, and got my bow all hooked up and everything. And the wind was southwest, which was right the way it should be. It was hitting me in the face. And about the time I got that tree stand on, the wind goes, came just the opposite direction, right towards them scrapes. I thought, I looked up at the Lord, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Come on. And so I thought, well, let's just wait a minute. And so I sat there another, 5 minutes or something, and it just kept swirling. And so I just said a quick prayer, and I said, give me a sign if I'm supposed to leave. I said, just show me what the wind's going to do this afternoon or whatever. And about that time, I got a pretty good gust in the wrong direction. So I packed all my stuff up, and I thought, and there was a cold front coming in. It was hot this day. It was probably in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
And I was already sweating. And so I packed up all my stuff, walked all the way back up out of there, and I went over to a different ridge on that same farm, which I'd had some pictures of him, but it had been a month since I'd gotten a picture of him. But I had killed a deer over there the year before. And so I thought, I'm just going to go in there and see it. There's a white oak dropping in there. It'll be a fun hunt this afternoon. I'll get back on old big boy tomorrow. And so I got in there and climbed. And I mean, dude, I was pouring sweat. But the wind was absolutely perfect right there. Perfect. And so in about an hour, I started seeing some I thought, there's some deer. Here they come. They're going to come in here on these white oak acorns. Oh, that's a buck. Oh, crap, that's him. That's Medusa,
Yeah.
And he comes in. There was a ditch right beside me, and he comes in, and he gets off in that ditch. And for probably 20 minutes, he's within shooting range, but I don't have a shot. And I mean, how your heart gets.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, well, he's going to hear my heart beating if he gets any closer. And he starts easing off. And I'm thinking, this is the one opportunity I had, and I'm not going to get it. And there was a hole about like this, and he stepped through it about 51 yards, and that's where I smoked him.
Really?
Shot him and smoked him, yeah. And so he ran off, and I didn't have any idea how good the shot was or anything because the hole was so small.
Too fast.
It happened all real quick. And I waited till dark, got down, found blood, went right to him. Called my wife, started crying, and she said, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Hell yes, I'm crying, and I'm proud. I'm not ashamed."
Yeah.
So I went and got her, and she actually went in and helped me recover him.
Oh,
and that was just a special moment because that's the only time she's ever really been any part of any of that. So to be a deer that over 200 inches and have that it was just a great moment. And,
I mean, you think about a deer of that caliber, and it's public land. I mean, I say public land, it's a lease lot.
It's leased property.
It's leased property,
very small farm.
But now he could go anywhere, right?
That's
I mean, it's not like you're hunting a high fence. I mean, he could have been anywhere. Some does could have drug him off. I mean, there are a lot of things could have happened. But wow. It's interesting.
And, to find out after the fact, the neighbors were after him. I didn't know it, but that's what
I was going to ask you. How many people in your lease knew about him?
There were 14 people in our lease, and I had only told 2 of them, I think, at the time. One of the guys that, and I won't mention any names because I don't want to get any of them in trouble if they were to happen to see this, but one of them I'm really good friends with, and I had told him that because he was after a deer on that same farm. And he had said, he had showed me pictures of it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm going to show you what I'm after. And I promise you, if your deer comes in, I won't shoot him. And I said, so I had talked to him, and he did. He stayed away and let me hunt him. And all of the guys, I've met a really good group of guys up there, really enjoyed getting to know them, and kind of hate that part of it's over with. I was real hesitant to get out for that reason.
Yeah.
But they were all very understanding and knew how hard I was hunting that deer. And they let me stay in there and stay after him. They never bothered him. So
Wow, that's fortunate.
it was
Not a lot of places do that.
no, they don't. But
You know how people are.
you're right though. Those farms, that farm's only about, I think it's about 200 acres. It's not
Yeah,
a
I
big
mean
farm.
that's not. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you wouldn't have got up to him then, and rut would have came along as far as I guess gun season,
Somebody would have killed him.
Yeah, there's no telling where he would have been.
That's right.
But that's an awesome kill. It's an awesome story.
Well, yeah, thank you. I killed several good deer there
I know.
over the years.
Your daughter killed a good deer.
Yeah, well, that was Illinois where she killed
Oh,
her.
I was thinking that was Kentucky. I thought y'all ran up there for a short trip or something. The one I saw.
No, we turkey hunting. No, I carried
Okay.
a turkey hunting one
Okay.
time up there, but she's yet to kill a turkey. I could tell you a long story there too, but we have a good time, her and I do, and that's kind of daddy-daughter time, and we'll go away for a week usually every
Yeah.
year and enjoy that time with
That's
her.
good. I don't think people really realize, and I didn't until you told me, running that many cameras, jotting down that kind of information, really paying attention, trying to figure out a pattern. There's not a lot of people that do that. I mean, there are some, but man, that's putting in some time.
It is, and it's the hardest deer I've ever hunted. And looking back on it now, I don't think I could do it again.
Really?
45 days of hunting all day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brutal.
You see those guys on TV, they'll post like day 31. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I'm telling you, it's brutal. It turns into a job, basically.
Yeah.
But I feel so blessed and fortunate that I was able to take one. That's been my whole bucket list item with whitetail hunting, is to kill one with my bow over 200 inches, and was able to do it. So killed a 184 in Illinois last year.
Yeah.
So I've done pretty well up there so far too.
Yeah, I mean, you could very easily in Illinois cross that 200-inch mark again.
I hope so.
I know you guys have gotten some good deer on camera, and there's potential for sure.
Yeah, there's several of us up there that hunt, and the fun thing about that is when you come back to camp at night, or whoever house you meet at, or whatever.
Because there's how many of y'all from here?
There's probably about 4 of us.
Okay.
And then there's some guys up there that we know up there that hunt too. We hang out with.
Yeah.
So, and it turns into a lot of acreage. But anyway, it's nice to go back to the camp and really be honest about, this is what I'm after. This is what I saw. And you're not hunting competitively against 14 other members in a club. You know what I mean? So I've really enjoyed the camaraderie and that part of that as well.
Well, I kind of know 3 of the 4, I guess, and I know been some dang good deer killed between the 3 of y'all.
There has. And
So pretty interesting. How many acres do you have in Illinois?
I hunt between land that I own and land that I lease, close to 1,000 acres.
Yeah.
And it's not all one track. There's some of it 30 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Which is nice because you get 2 different deer herds to hunt that way. And,
Well, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And especially with EHD, if let's just say it hits one of the farms, hopefully it doesn't hit the other one.
Right.
But
Have you guys had any of that up there?
No, not yet. Matter of fact, I was looking online last night at Ohio's map, and it's awful.
Oh, they're having problems.
Man, I mean, you should look it up. I think I'll send you a link tonight, but it's really awful. It has hit them hard.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's just very few cases been reported in Illinois so far. It is there, but it's not bad yet.
Wow. I hope it doesn't get bad. It's terrible. I mean, it's a
too.
terrible disease.
It really is, and there's nothing you can do really to prevent it. Because those midges, anywhere there's a pond receding where there's muddy banks, that's where they thrive.
Sure.
And deer are going to go there
Well,
to
that's
get water.
good. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. So where do you hunt? I don't want to be redundant on what you have already said on your podcast, but do you hunt mainly here in Alabama? Or
Man, I don't hunt near like I used to. I enjoyed going back to Missouri, I grew up hunting in Missouri, southeast Missouri, right on the Mississippi River bottoms. Really, really enjoyed it. You talk about blessed, fortunate. My stepmother's family owned 20,000 acres of farm ground. Part of that is what we hunted. We deer hunted. Some my other family members put in a duck pit, and I got to go up there and duck hunt with those guys and hang out. But great deer have come off that property. Not 200-inch deer, of course. But I would say there are some 180s running around that property. I know there are some 180s running around that property. But when my dad passed away back in 2016, they kind of pushed everybody out of there. So, but there's a few people hunting it now, but not like none of my family.
So you think with retiring, will you get back into it more?
I said that I would, but I haven't. And I enjoy, I don't, and I'm not talking, there's been some great deer killed around here in this area, but it's hard hunting. Like you go over to Bankhead and places like that. That's just not the hunting that I'm used to. It's tough hunting. I'm not familiar with it. What I'm familiar with is in Missouri, and it's not the same. When you talked about camaraderie between, your friends up there at camp, that's what we used to do. We used to go home. Gun season in Missouri is 11 days. Go home. I got to see all my buddies. My brothers would roll in. My dad's twin brother. Those guys would cook. My cousins. We'd go to my cousin's shop, hang out, cook opening weekend. You got to see everybody.
And you look forward to that just as much as you do the hunting.
Yeah. And I looked forward. My youngest son loves to hunt. And he's leaving in the morning to go up there to bow hunt. But on some other property close. But anyways, that is what I look forward to the most. And then Ethan was finally coming of age to where he was going to get to hunt on his own. He'd got to hunt on his own with a rifle 1 year before they kind of pushed everybody out. So I really haven't been the same since. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I grew up doing, and that's what I miss the most. So answer your question, I don't hunt as much as I used to.
I hope it turns into more as you retire. You can do more, and for me too. My daughter finishes. She finishes her classes this fall. She's going into elementary education. And she'll do her student teaching next spring.
But need some more teachers, man.
I'm hoping when she gets married, though, I'm hoping I have a son-in-law that enjoys hunting and a grandson, hopefully, that enjoys it too.
You gonna put some pressure on her?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
You got to. But now, Ethan, he's my youngest. He really enjoys going back up there. He hangs out with my buddies, gets to see his brother and sister that live up there. And so it's good for him, that he enjoys it. But, I think last year I went up and duck hunted with those guys like 3 days, to kill the fire out of them.
Yeah.
Get to see all those guys and hang out. But, it's just not as much as I used to.
Well, in the duck hunting too, it's not it's more really about the camaraderie. It's not so hardcore like the deer hunting.
Yeah, that is what I like about duck hunting. And I'm not a huge duck hunting enthusiast by no means, but I enjoy going. But it's just for what you just said.
Yeah,
the camaraderie. Long time ago, it was all friends that went. Now I go home and it's a lot of young guys that I know their family. I don't know them. It's not the same type thing, but it's still, they kill a lot. They have a good time.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. It's having a good time.
It is. And,
enjoying it.
And the thing with that, you can be flipping bacon over here.
Well, they do it now. And I'm gonna tell you, back in the day, is like, man, you don't even get out a candy bar wrapper making a noise. Now they're over there, flipping hamburgers.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, times have changed.
Oh yeah.
And back in the day, we used to all have to, chase down cripples and all that stuff. Now they bust out that boat with a mud motor.
Oh, that's right.
Or carry us out to the blind, on a side by side. I'm like, hey, there's a cripple out there. If it's close, I'm like, well, you young boys got to go get it. I'm not.
I'm telling you, I am not. I've never been a shooting house kind of guy. I still love to hunt out of a lock-on,
right,
or even a climber. But now I don't want to carry the climber in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't like sitting in negative 10 degrees in the lock-on anymore. I think I might go to that shooting house.
Boy, that shooting house will run you.
It will.
Because and we ended up with some shooting houses on that property before, they kind of moved us all off there.
Yeah.
But it's funny, Ethan would say, hey, I'm going to go back here to this ladder stand. I say, I'm going to go to that shooting house.
Hey, you can rattle them candy bars all you want in that
darn
shooting
right.
house,
I
can't you?
done ate 5 Pop-Tarts and 3 bottles of water.
I'd laugh at me and Travis. I know you had him on not long ago, and he sent me a picture last year. He was posted up in his shooting house, and he had the window, and he had all of his little Debbie, he had his apple pie and his Christmas tree and his Peeps and whatever it is he had lined up all the way across.
He's the only person in the country that I know that eats Peeps.
I hate them.
I hate them. It don't even make sense to me.
Boy, and I'll eat a box of cereal though now. Honeycombs, Fruity Pebbles, any of that sweet stuff, and I'm not supposed to have sugar, so
right.
I have to kind of be careful and not eat too much of it, and try to eat it when I'm not in front of my wife too.
Yeah, I heard that. But yeah, so I don't, like I said, but now, I think we talked about, and I told you about that I'm going out to Montana here soon. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I mean,
so let me ask you this. So
okay.
when you first started telling me a little bit about that, I think we talked about it at the gym.
Yeah.
I saw you with your boots on the incline on the treadmill and really doing a lot of training. How long will you prepare, or are you still doing that?
Yeah. I've fallen off. I promise you. I need to do it, and I keep telling myself that I'm going to do it, but I don't do it. I find myself ready to go when I'm ready to go. So the answer is I need to do it. I told myself, I did a Spartan race, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It's a 5K. You had like 20 obstacles, all this stuff. I thought, man, I can do it. Right? And I did do it, and I finished. But I'd say 2 to 3 months before that thing, dude, I was on that treadmill. I was laying off the weights as much, so I wouldn't be so heavy. Really hitting the treadmill incline, running flat, walking, heart rate up, down, all, everything I could do to prepare for it. Yeah. And now here I am getting ready to go to Montana, and I know that it's going to be like 20 obstacles, like this dadgum Spartan race, and I'm not even prepared. And here Travis was saying, you got to be some cardio, and I can't make myself do it. I've tried. Now my buddy that's going, he sends me pictures. He's got a weighted vest, and he's on his deal there, his treadmill, walking and carrying on. I'm like, oh my! I
hate cardio. Despise it.
I do too.
I have to drag myself, and I think it's more so I'm so busy because I don't necessarily mind going to the gym. But when I can't go in and actually just work out and enjoy it and leave, it's constant work tied up in the middle of it. But I'm okay with the lifting weights and whatnot. But I'm saying I hate the cardio.
I am the same, dude. I just despise it. So no, I'm not prepared for it. I'm not, and it's coming up quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's getting here in a hurry. But I'm looking so forward to that hunt because I don't have to work. So when I don't have a job. And I told my buddy, and he owns his own business. He's got his own ag business, right? Yeah. Scouts Cotton. They do soil sampling and all that kind of stuff. And he's wrapping up now. He's almost done. So once we get ready to leave, he's pretty much done with everything because everything's being harvested, right?
Right.
And so we're going to take our time getting out there, enjoy the drive because it's a 26-hour drive. We're going to take our time, not hurry. You know what I mean? Got the time to just enjoy that part of it, enjoy being there, enjoy the trip back to where you're not under pressure. Because I think if I was still working, you're limited on your vacation, and you gotta, it's like, I got to hurry up here, hurry up here.
Yeah, you're not rushed for anything.
I'm not rushed for anything now, and it's a good feeling going into this.
I'm ready to experience that.
Oh, you will soon enough. And we're the same age, right?
I'm 51.
Oh my gosh.
How old are you?
I'm 56.
Are you really?
Yeah. I thought for some reason we're the same age.
No, man. Don't make me too old too quick.
I'm sorry. I apologize. You don't look a day over 60. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, as far as being in shape, I see your dedication in the gym, obviously, and you look outstanding for your age too. But I ask you a few questions there. So are you really dieting hard before you're going on this trip or anything like that?
I'm not going to say that I'm not dieting hard, but I'm trying to. I don't even want to say I'm trying to lose weight because every time I say that I'm trying to lose weight, I don't do it. I'm trying to not be so heavy when I go.
Yeah,
and I've lost a few pounds. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to be carrying 270 pounds up and down a mountain.
Oh yeah.
or I don't want to make that horse suffer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Poor thing. Yeah, I need a video of your horse on the last day.
Exactly. He's got that sag and
his knees are buckling.
Where I get on him and he says, "Man, one at a time, please." You know, I don't want to wear the horse out either. But so I don't want to go into this thing being so heavy.
Yeah.
You know, when I talked to Travis thought he'd lose a little weight while he was out there, and he didn't.
Did he not?
He
I mean, asked him.
I think he lost 3 or 4, 5 pounds.
He said
maybe.
he walked like 75 miles.
Exactly, and he didn't lose.
Must have had plenty of peeps with him.
That's exactly what I said. I said that's some 3 sleeves of peeps you took and put in your backpack.
Well, now this is no lie. I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
I hope he watches this. So one of the first pictures he sends me when he's out there is apple pies lined up.
Oh my
He had his
gosh.
apple pies ready. But I love them apple pies.
I do too. I do too.
You know, the little come in the little green box.
I know.
Oh man,
I actually like the cherry ones, and they make a chocolate Boston cream pie one.
I have not had that one.
Oh, dude, I'll go in there, and if I see one, I'll buy a Monster energy drink and one of those, and I'm so high by the time I leave the parking lot.
That's like pre-workout.
It's pre-workout, man. It's pre-workout. You know what I mean? I do my overdose on it. So, but no, I'm not going to say I'm on a strict diet either. Now I will say Christy cooks really well, and she knows how to do all that stuff. Where I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But I'm not strict about it either.
Now she used to really be a health nut. Is she still into all that?
No, not as much. But the good thing about her is she knows how to cook for it. But no, I'm not going to sit there and say she's too busy. She don't go to the gym as much as she used to. But she knows how to cook for me to where I get the most bang for my buck. You know, if that makes any sense.
Well, I wish you luck when you go out there, man. I want to do it. I'm a little concerned my knees might not be able to. And it's the going downhill that bothers me. Going uphill doesn't bother me. It's the downhill. And so the first one I do, I might try a rifle instead of a bow, just so I don't have to be quite so aggressive in the hiking part of it.
Maybe get a feel for it, what it's like. And that's kind of, you know, I can't pull a bow back anymore. My shoulders hurt. And I tried it the other day. Ethan's Triax right here. I tried to pull that thing back. It's embarrassment.
Well, is crossbow still illegal to shoot elk with?
Well, Travis and I were talking about that. Yes, the answer is yes. But I think, according to Travis, and he thought Idaho might have switched this year. But I'm going to Montana, but Montana's still illegal.
Yeah, I don't have a clue.
And I looked at that. There are several states that are illegal. Now, whether they move into allowing it, I don't know. But he claims Idaho's doing it now.
Okay.
I didn't look. I just took his word for it. So I don't know. And that would be, I think I would do that. You know what I mean?
I would be totally fine. I mean, I'm a big bow hunter now, as far as whitetail's concerned, and I was lucky enough to kill a bear one time with it. But
a black bear, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. And so we actually went to Canada. There was about 5 of us that went, and everybody got one. It was a phenomenal trip. We did a self-guided deal where we took our own 4-wheelers and cameras and everything. And the way they did, basically, they took you out the first night. They took you out and showed you a stand and showed on the map how it was all set up.
Right.
And you carried the bait, and we baited up barrels and put they called it a cookie box that was on the tree. And
I've seen those.
Put all that in there, you know. And he said, all right, when y'all get up tomorrow morning, all this stuff's going to be on your front porch of your little camp. And he said, y'all go pick whatever. We had, I don't know how many acres it was. It was ridiculous. But he said, y'all pick whatever location you want. Go run the baits, hang your cameras, go back and check them in the afternoon. And if there's a bear on there you want to shoot, hang a stand and hunt. And so that's kind of what we did. And quick funny story about that. So the place we stayed was basically a plywood shack. It was kind of like a little fishing camp, you know, and we stayed in this plywood shack, and the guy says, just want to give y'all a little heads up. It may be a bit of a mouse problem.
Oh, my gosh.
In your shack. And I said, if he's telling us there's a bit of a mouse problem, there's a big mouse problem. And, man, so the first night, you couldn't even sleep. You could hear them.
Oh, my gosh.
Running around at night, getting into these stuff. So the next day we had to go buy Tupperware buckets and stuff to put all our food in, but I bought a bunch of the glue traps. You know? So we put those glue traps out everywhere, and in the middle of the night, you could hear this rat dragging this glue trap back and forth on the plywood floor. Oh, my gosh. And the next morning, got up, and he had chewed his leg off, and that glue trap was in the middle of the floor with blood on it and that leg.
Oh, my gosh.
But
I can't do it. I couldn't do it.
It was an experience,
I bet.
man. But I ended up killing my bear on the second day, and so I fished the rest of the time. Just had a great time. Caught pike and walleye.
Yeah. What part of Canada were you guys in?
It was called Wawa.
Okay.
And it's you go straight up through kind of through Chicago up through that way.
Okay.
And I'm not real familiar with Canada.
Yeah,
and
me
stuff,
either.
So, but it was.
I actually got to go to Canada. We went out bird hunting, goose hunting, and killed a bunch of geese, a bunch of ducks. But we went to a place called Shoal Lake, I believe, and it's up above the Dakotas.
Okay.
Like we went straight up through the Dakotas and crossed the border, but we drove, dude. It was a long way.
Oh yeah, it's a 24-hour drive.
Yeah, man, it was long, but it very, very interesting. I went with an interesting group, and I had a great time. But we killed over 500 birds.
Oh wow.
Yeah, over 500 birds, and that's geese and ducks. We hunted. We drug a trailer out there, 2 trucks, drug 1 trailer loaded with everything.
As fast as you could shoot.
I'm telling you, man, it was awesome. I mean, you only hunted in the mornings. Those guys would go out and drink beer and scout in the afternoons, and I'd sit on the porch and smoke cigars and look at the look at the scenery because we were out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I mean, there's so much land. It was as far as you could see, but my cousin, he's a big, he loves duck hunting and all that. He'd been going out there for 20 years and, he knew farmers and had permission, to hunt all these farms. And man, it was a great time. I mean, really, it was just a different experience and it wasn't an expensive hunt,
Have you thought about doing the Argentina dove hunts?
No, I've seen it. And I've had a buddy that's done it. But and I want to say he did an Argentina dove and duck hunt. It's where you do both, I think. Anyways, but I've never done. Have you done it?
No, but I've just seen videos and stuff of it. I mean, you have to take more than one gun because you'll melt the barrel.
You melt the barrel down. Most of those guys who went to Canada, they all took 2 guns. I took 3, and it was me and my son both went. But anyways, yeah, it's interesting stuff, when you do something that's out of the norm, some form of hunting when it's out of the norm. And like I said, this elk hunt's going to be out of the norm for me, but I'm excited about it. And I think, I talked to Travis when he got back. I said, do you think this is something you'd want to do again? Dude, I think he's putting some serious thought into doing it more.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's so intrigued by it.
I hadn't had a chance to really talk to him much since he got back.
Yeah.
But I want to do it. I'm worried about the physical part of it.
Yeah. It's going to be physical for me.
I like to talk to you again
afterwards. Yeah. After I make it back, after that horse has done dumped me off on a rock.
But dude, if you did, a Spartan at 51 years old or 52 years old, I think you'll be fine.
I think so. And that was tough, man. I mean, it was continuous running, continuous climbing. That was an experience too. But I made it through, and I was actually going to do it again last year. And I tore my bicep, and I'd already, had plans of doing it because it was coming back to this area. I had to have surgery, reattach that bicep, and I was out till after the first of the year. Really couldn't do a whole lot at the gym, and it's depressing.
Why do I not remember that? Because we would have been going to the gym then.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't, because I was even in there with my cast on, because they'd put a solid cast on me. Put a soft cast on right out of the gate, and then I was going to Florida for a trip for my brother's 60th birthday, and he said, "Since you're going to be traveling, I'm going to put a hard cast on it." But I was still in the gym, dude. I know I looked like a fool.
I don't remember seeing that.
And I was pumping weights.
Maybe I was hunting.
Yeah, maybe. But I was pumping. Well, but you would have been, because that happened in November of last year. It was November the 3rd or something of last year is when I tore it. And then a week later, I had the surgery. And then after that, I was going to Florida. I mean, so yeah, you would have been gone hunting.
Yeah, because I hunt a lot in November. That's, pre-rut and rut both. And then take a little bit of a break in December. And then that late, real cold weather when they're coming to food, I'll hit it pretty hard in January if I'm not tagged out by then.
Yeah, so that's probably what you were doing. So, but anyways, that puts a damper on things.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
But anyways,
you kept going with the one side though.
Well, man, I'm one of those guys that I read up on stuff like okay, I tore my bicep, so I get online and I Google it. What can I do? Do I have to quit the gym? And they're like, everything I read said, hey, if you'll go in and you'll continue to do legs, and you'll continue to do one side. If you can physically do one side without interrupting anything, you get a lot of transfer. And I said a lot is, that's not really, I shouldn't say a lot. You get transfer from side to side. And then my head that says, okay, I won't lose everything. So that's what I did.
Okay.
I would go in, and of course I'm not heavy, I'm not lifting heavy or nothing, but as heavy as I could.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are looking at me like, what's this guy doing?
Well,
man?
and two, I think just staying in the routine.
Yeah.
Your legs are not getting sore. You're still doing that kind of
Well,
stuff.
when you say stay in the routine, look here. When we moved to Priceville, I did a bunch of work on that shop and yard, and I got busy doing that stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm out of routine of going to the gym. Guess how long I quit going to the gym? I don't know. Almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Just because of that.
Yeah.
So, man, you get out of that routine so easy, and it just screws it all up.
What did it feel like when you went back?
Oh my! Sore,
Like you've been hit by a truck?
Yeah, sore all over again. Asking yourself why you're doing it. You know how when you get started.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough.
Because I pretty much take a lot of hunting season off each year. And I always say I'm going to do it while I'm up there, and I never do.
Nah, you just don't find the time.
No.
Just don't find the time.
So where did y'all live in Priceville?
Out off of right beside the interstate there. Oh my gosh, what's the name of that road? Well, if you turn there by what's the name of that little burger joint? The Crystals. The side road.
67. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking on 36.
No. If you turn by Crystals there and go down that side road, we were down there on the right.
Okay. That goes out to the cemetery out there on the
Yeah, it
interstate.
does. Yeah. But before you get to the cemetery, there's another road you can make a right, and it goes back up on, and you'll come out. You can come out on Indian Hills up there.
Right.
So we were down in there.
Okay.
And I really liked a bunch of deer down in there, man.
Yeah. Why did y'all decide to move from there?
We built this house. I had been looking for somewhere to build, and this property came up for sale. Well, I say it came up for sale. Travis and I said, hey, man, I want to show you this lot and see what I can do. But it was on down the road. It wasn't even this lot. And, of course, you know how Travis is. He goes, there's another lot around here for sale, I'm pretty sure, blah, blah, blah. He said, ride down here. So we rode over here, and he said, I think this lot's for sale. Didn't have a sign in it. Grass was growed up. And I said, really? He said, I'll get a number. So George Dutton lives down the road. And you know George?
I don't.
He used to own all of this. And then he texted me, Travis texted me and said, here's the number. It was from people in Florida.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. He said, yeah, George said, this is the number for the people that own that lot. So, dude, I just called him and said, hey, are y'all interested in selling your lot out there on Leaning Pines? And the lady said, yes. I said, okay. She said, well, we want X amount. She said, we paid this much in taxes, so we want that with it. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you what you paid for it. You're the one that chose set on it. You pay your taxes yourself.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, give me a second. Okay, yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah,
so that's why we ended up out here.
Okay.
And I love it out here.
Yeah.
It's great. Good and quiet.
Yeah, it is a good area.
Yeah, great area. But anyways, so you mentioned a little bit about retirement earlier. So you think that you'll, because you're younger than me. You think you'll be able to retire that young and stay focused on being retired? Or?
Probably not.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
My wife and I actually had this conversation the other day, and she said, I'm worried you will be bored. And I'll do something, which I still have the real estate stuff going.
Yeah.
And I'll probably spend quite a bit more time in Illinois. Now I have to hire things done.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as cutting the grass up there, but planting food plots and bush hogging and, things like that, I will do myself instead of pay somebody else to do. But we want to travel, and we both like the Caribbean, and so we'll spend some time down there and, maybe start fishing again, maybe start playing some golf.
Yeah.
But
see that's like the question you asked me a while ago. It's, well, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. And some of that stuff just don't come to fruition. Right. And some of it will, but it depends on what you want to get into.
I'll try to commit to continue to going to the gym, of course, but, I don't know. I enjoy business. And that's all aspects of it. I like to, even like my wife and I have been watching a show called Below Deck.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And it is funny. There's a lot of drama and things in there, but I like to see, well, all right, from a business standpoint, what's going on here?
Uh-huh.
They've got this many employees. This is what they're bringing in. This is what this group does. This is what this group does. This is how it's operating. So I'm picking it apart from a business standpoint.
Right.
She doesn't even know that I'm thinking about all this, but
Yeah.
that's where my point is. That's where
she-
my mind goes.
Yeah, she's not business minded, so
Yeah. And so
she's money spending minded.
that's right. That's right. And so I might do some consulting. I've thought about doing that, and I think I would enjoy that. But I'll probably have to be involved in business some way, somehow.
Okay.
Just because I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
I'll wrap it up here, but I mean, man, you've done well with your business. I mean, by the looks of things, by where you're at, what you're facing right now, the things that you get to do. Did it come easy? Nope. People don't realize that it came hard.
that's right.
It came from those 80-hour weeks you're talking when you're working by yourself, building those things, going out on a limb. Maybe borrowing money here and there to get business thing. I don't know, but nothing comes easy. But man, you've done a great job.
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. It's been a long road, but I think going to be rewarding here at the end.
I think so, and I hope you can look forward to an early retirement and just enjoy that.
Thank you very
That'll
much.
be great.
Thank you.
And I'll say I appreciate you coming on here and talking, man.
I enjoyed it.
It's great to hear about people that's taken something and done something with it, taking a thought. And building a business and doing something with it and being very, very successful and being able to do some, all the things that you want to do in life. I think that's very interesting. And I commend you on that, but I appreciate you coming on here and talking and maybe do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Enjoyed it very much.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. We'll get off here, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, subscribe, some thumbs up, comments, whatever you want. But we'll see you next time. Peace out.